August of 2011, I made this video, part 6 of Nephilim Giants and UFOs. And on this video I explained how the Lord showed me what Mary K. Baxter meant when she wrote in her book that she saw circles in the air, in the spirit, that had circles within these circles, and that demonic spirits were coming through these circles to do witchcraft and different types of damage to the people of the earth. And a lot of different types of evil spirits and things were being released, coming through those circles into our world, according to Mary K. Baxter. So that means that there is a war going on, and the powerful thing is that those circles Mary K. Baxter saw in the future are the spirals that have been appearing lately in different parts of the earth. And this is what the Lord showed me, that the circles she described in her book are these spirals that have been appearing for a few years now. And in part 7, I said we're going to start to see some strange things. So on this video, I want to go into one strange thing that we're now starting to see or hear about anyway. And that thing is the black-eyed children, which I'm sure have a direct link to these spirals that are appearing and opening and closing. And I'm sure things are coming through these things all the time. One of the things I believe that are coming through these spirals are the black-eyed children. There's a lot of different reports on the black-eyed children as far as what they do or their effect on people, how they behave. And they don't look right at you at first because they have to hide their eyes so that you can't see their eyes. So they don't look directly at you. They talk to you while looking down and either try to get into your car or get into your house by knocking on the door. But at first they avoid looking directly at you because they don't want you to look into their eyes. And their behavior actually seems kind of similar to like a vampire, in the sense that they have to be invited in. So you have to invite them in for them to come in. You have to let them in. Apparently, it seems that way. We have no reports as far as what happens if somebody does let them in their car or does let them into their house. When they do come to your house or to your car asking for a ride, they start off saying something like, "Let me in, this won't take long. It'll just take a moment." But people report that they feel a terror and a fear while around them. And of course, when people finally do see their face, get a good look at their eyes, they become terrified even more because of their eyes. They're completely black. They have no white in their eyes at all. They're just pools of pure black. And the people report also that they have a fear and a terror around these children. A fear greater than any kind of fear they've ever felt before. A greater fear than anything they've ever felt. So, and I can relate to that because when I saw hell, when the Lord took me to hell and back, when I was there, the fear there was 1,000 times greater than anything I'd ever felt in my life. You couldn't have put a man with a gun to my head and made me as scared of that as I was when I went to hell. And all I saw in hell was pure blackness. It was just pure black. I couldn't see anything there. And it was outer darkness. But the sense there of fear was 1,000 times greater. It was more real than any kind of fear you can feel here on the earth. So I can relate to what these guys are saying. They're sensing something from hell through these kids that is around them, like some type of a demonic anointing. So they feel that fear, that greater fear than normal around these children. So if it's like if you get around the things of God and you're in a meeting and you feel the Holy Spirit come down, and you can feel that peace and that love and that joy of the Lord. It's the same type thing, but in the opposite direction. You can feel the opposite. You feel that horror and that fear and that terror. The same type of terror. I mean, they didn't say this in their reports, but I'm sure it's the same type of terror that there is in hell. Because they describe a fear that is greater than anything they've ever felt, that it was supernatural. It wasn't normal. It was not a normal fear. So they have some type of demonic, very demonic power around them that the people can literally just sense by being around them. And not that they're afraid because they see their eyes. I mean, they're afraid when they see that too, but the feeling you sense around them is going to be a terrible fear, greater than normal, which is worse than when you look into their eyes, because you already know something's very wrong. Anyway, what I believe these creatures are is something similar to what Jesus was when he was here on the earth. And the reason I say that is because the word says that Satan will dwell here among us on the earth in the end of days, just as Jesus dwelt among us 2,000 years ago. So Satan has creatures coming upon the earth, investigating, as he is about to come on the scene himself. He already has a body ready for himself to enter into. And he has these black-eyed children going around investigating things, and they're like the troops going out ahead of time, the scouts. And they're scouting everything, getting ready and getting everything prepared for the coming of the Antichrist. Similar to like what John the Baptist did. It could be that that's what they are. They're doing the same thing. But of course in a secretive way, because with Jesus everything is done out in the open, out in the light. With Satan, he copies everything that God does, but he does it in the opposite way also. So everything he's going to do will be a secret. He'll only pounce on you at that moment that he thinks he's got you. So he's got secret things going on that are being revealed to the people who are watching, people who are paying attention, who are awake, who are watching these videos and other videos instead of being entertained with the Flintstones or something. So anyway, since what I'm saying is that with Jesus, they're the opposite, because they're similar in the sense that Jesus was God himself on the earth. He was God on the earth. He was the Son of God. He was truth. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So he is truth itself, and that's who God is, truth. He is life. He said, I am life, the way, the truth, and the life. So he is life itself. That's who God is. And so God dwelt with us here on the earth in the form of a man, Jesus Christ. And so what I'm seeing here is these children are not children as they appear to look like, but they're a huge part of Satan himself, straight from hell. And they also are given a flesh body to walk around in. But when you look into their eyes, there's just pure black. Because they are the opposite of Christ. There's no light. There is no life. There's no peace, no love. There's only fear, terror, death, and darkness. The opposite. So when I say similar, I mean that as Christ was a part of God, he was the part of the Trinity. He's one of the Trinity. I believe these creatures are part of Satan himself, part of what he's doing in these last days. They're a part of him. They are darkness itself. They are evil itself. They are fear itself. And that's why people say they feel a supernatural fear and an evil and a dread when they get around them. Another thing, I think another thing why they're coming now is because not just evil things that the governments are doing and things like that, but they're the evil that this world has been embracing through evil entertainment, evil behaviors, evil movies like Harry Potter, which promotes witchcraft, evil thoughts, etc. Jesus said that as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. And in the days of Noah, the word says that the imaginations and thoughts of the people were evil continuously. So now the same thing is happening again. Witchcraft is thought about all the time. People are watching stuff like Harry Potter. I'm just saying Harry Potter because that's one of the most popular shows. But there's TV shows coming out all the time now. The TV is full of witchcraft now. I'm not even talking about TV that's cable TV. I'm talking regular TV shows. Full of witchcraft. Very, very demonic stuff that people take very lightly now because they're used to seeing it. It's no longer shocking. But it should be very shocking. And the only way it can be shocking to you is if you separate yourself from it and quit watching it and indulging in it and start watching godly things, listening to godly things, listening to godly music. Because the more you see these things, the more it's going to become normal to you. And it shouldn't be normal to you. It should be abnormal. It should frustrate you. It should anger you. It should vex you. The word says that when Abraham and Lot separated, Lot went into Sodom and Gomorrah. And the word says that Lot's heart was vexed because of the things that people were doing in the city. Our hearts should be vexed. As Christians, we should be vexed already because we're already living in Sodom and Gomorrah. We shouldn't even be able to watch TV unless it's TBN. There's so much garbage now that we're being so desensitized that it just doesn't bother us anymore. And we don't realize that stuff's getting in and it's affecting our thoughts. It's affecting our walk with God. People wonder why their walk with God is so bad. It's not nearly as good as it used to be, and they wonder why. And there's things that creep in. We have to keep washing that off through prayer. We have to keep washing it off through prayer and getting closer to Christ every day. We need to hang out with God, with godly things, and separate ourselves from the garbage. So anyway, we have to separate ourselves so that our thoughts will not become like the thoughts of the people back in Noah's day, which was wickedness all the time. If you're watching wickedness on TV, your thoughts are going to turn wicked. There's no way around it. You're going to bombard your thoughts with these things. That's what you're going to put in. What you put in is what you get put into your heart. That's what you're drinking. That's what you're eating. And it goes inside of you. And so sales are skyrocketing for witchcraft items. Books and little trinkets of witchcraft and potions and things are being sold more than ever before. So anyway, I'm believing that these black-eyed children are just this is just the first little strange thing we're going to see in these last days. Mary Kay Baxter also stated that she had seen a creature that was part man, part animal walking around. And the video that I posted about her, the interview she was given with Brother Eldridge. And now we see that probably has already been done. I mean, if you research this stuff on the internet, you can see that kind of thing, I'm sure, has already been done. It's just being done in secret. And it says in the book of Enoch and other books, they're not in the Bible, but Enoch should be in the Bible because it's quoted in the Bible as though it's scripture. So the book of Enoch should actually be in the Bible. In the past, when aliens were reported, they were seen by other people. I'm talking about years and years ago, and some recent also, but aliens that have been appearing were obviously aliens. The people described them as alien. They were not human at all looking. And the people knew right away that these were aliens. They were not normal looking human beings, because they looked totally like an alien, from not like a human at all. So it was very obvious that they were not human. But now, somehow, Satan has come to another level in his deceptive power and is able now to use the body of children, or the body of a creature that looks just like a child, looks exactly like a human child, until you see their very eyes. So behind their eyes is evil from hell. The people who experienced alien abductions were also involved with the occult somehow in the past. They were always involved somehow in the occult, whether it was tarot cards, even just stargazing, something in the occult. They were involved in something. But now that this has come to a whole nother level, now these black-eyed children that are trying to get into people's cars and their house, it's been reported they're not involved in any type of witchcraft, nothing. Some of them probably are and they don't know it. Just watching these movies, you're involved in witchcraft. If you're watching Harry Potter, then you're involved in some type of witchcraft. You may not realize it, but you are. So anyway, somehow Satan has reached a whole nother level where your average Joe, who seems like a really nice guy, a nice girl, nice marriage, they're not out, doing witchcraft. They're not out, they're not doing the type of thing that the people used to report in the past that they were doing, like wearing crystals and stargazing, like I said, and tarot cards, talking to psychics, whatever. They don't do any of those things. So anyway, like I said, Satan has come to a whole nother level now. It's a whole different thing now. It's completely different now. These black-eyed children show his power has come to a whole nother level.
The feedback for Watchers 5 has been overwhelmingly positive. Many people have said it's the best one in the series.
And Watchers 5 is the one in which you mentioned the subject of black-eyed children. And, when I think of black eyes, eyes all filled with black, I always think of the little gray guys, the supposed UFO guys that step out of their UFOs and they fix you with a hypnotic stare, and they have those almond-shaped black eyes. And there's something similar, I think, in this phenomenon that you're talking about with the black-eyed kids.
Well, yes, and we feel, when I say we, my good friend and director, producer of the Watcher series, Richard Shaw, we believe that in fact these children with the black eyes are not children. They may in fact be hybrid children of some sort. In other words, this goes back into the Genesis 6 scriptures again. They're manifesting, and people go, well, why are you talking about this stuff? Why are you showing us this stuff? There's a reason for it. As a co-producer of the Watchers series, just the name alone, we are watching what is happening out there and then presenting it to you, and you deal with it now. People need to be aware of what's literally manifesting on this planet. And if it was one or two of these stories, we'd dismiss it. But the stories are becoming more and more visible. More and more witnesses are coming forward. We've had people, after we aired Watchers 5, I had several emails of people who never went on the record before. They believe they had an encounter. The woman that we interviewed, Leah Campen, had no knowledge of Nephilim, no knowledge of a so-called breeding program or hybrid, anything like that, nothing at all. And she had an encounter, and we got her testimony on film for Watchers 5. And it was chilling. One critic wrote back and said, oh, these are just kids with contact lenses. They're not kids with contact lenses. People who encounter these children, and again, I don't believe that they're children, are overwhelmed with they're overwhelmed with fear, and they have this presence of evil. You can't make this stuff up. The presence of evil just exudes from these beings, whatever they are. People are terrified when they see them.
Well, you know, L.A., this leads me to another territory in ufology, which is the Men in Black.
Sure.
Going back to the 1950s, there were a number of books written about these mysterious men in black who would show up after a UFO sighting and claim to be government representatives, but they obviously weren't human beings. They were some strange concoction, crossbreed, or whatever. And many of them were said to have very dark black eyes. And I see a little bit of a correlation there, possibly.
Yeah, look, the phenomenon is very complex. No one has all the answers. What's interesting is we ask ourselves, why now? We've never, why are they appearing now? Why are they manifesting now? Is this some sort of vanguard, some advanced force to sort of test the waters? Look, when we're told in 2 Thessalonians that Satan comes with all signs and lying wonders, what about that? Why do we have this truncated belief system where we limit this? I'm not saying he's all powerful. I'm not saying that. But my gosh, what is coming is unprecedented. He knows his time will be short. He's headed to that area where he's finally cast down from the second heaven to earth. And he's trapped here, and he's really ticked off, paraphrase, because he knows his time is short. Well, these are vanguards. I think he's sending emissaries out, just on field trips, essentially. And I realize that sounds crazy, but remember, we're dealing with the supernatural entity that's been alive for who knows how long. He's highly intelligent, but extremely malevolent. He's evil personified.
Right.
And again, people don't realize that we're in a cosmic chess match. We're in a cosmic war, which has been raging literally in an unseen dimension for millennia. And now it spills over unto this dimension. We're seeing this happen, just like Bible prophecy tells us. Satan comes with all signs and lying wonders. Lest those days were shortened, no flesh would survive. Men faint from fear from what is coming on the earth. We are in these days. Be like the days of Noah when the Son of Man returns. We talked about that. We're in this window of time, and the supernatural is beginning to interface in ways that we've never seen before.